because I was screwing around with the audio since last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Got that. Oh, where? There it is. Okay. Cool.
But,
Counting us in.
oh, wait. Hold
Oh, you okay? I'll wait.
on. All right. Okay. I'm good to go.
Alrighty. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brewmaster's Draft, a show where we talk a little bit about Dota and a little bit about beer. I will be your host, Flubb, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host, my one and only, my basically second, my little second little thing on the side, my buddy, Kimbrell. Kimbrell, how you doing today, man?
You can call me your boo if that's what you want to call me.
I can't have your wife knowing that, man.
Right. I mean, she understands. It happens. My friend Travis has kind of already reached that point where it's like something crazy, sad, unfortunate would ever happen between Megan and I would probably, honestly, at this point in my life, I'm not saying that I would politically correctly. How do I word this? I would become in a non-sexual relationship. I would just hang out, literally just live with the person, and I mean that's because just guy time all the time. Like I don't know. After I'd be being to like 26, like I don't want to go through the whole relationship thing again. So anyway, my point was like, yeah, you can call me your side thing because Megan already understands it happens. So, your girlfriend, on the other hand, I don't know.
I don't think she'd be as cool with that. I mean, she knows it's a joke, so whatever. But, nah. So, how have you been, man? How's this week been? This past week been for you?
It's been up and down like usual. Yesterday I stayed home. I had a flat tire and my check engine light came on, so I thought I'd take the day and go non-sexual. So glad that was specified. Oh, chat's great. Anyway, I went and got all that fixed, and then really, man, work's been kind of somewhat stress-free. We've got state surveys still coming up, and I'm just kind of just waiting on them. Like, I'm at a point where it's just like, just come already, get this over with, so I can stop stressing about it. But overall, pretty good week. I've enjoyed some Dota. We finally, actually, I'm going to go on a little tangent about the pandas or whatever.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
So last week or the week before, I talked about how we're a dead team, all that stuff. Still kind of a dead team. We had a little bit of change. At first, I was just Digi came to me and said, "Hey, I would like to make a team. I'm not on one. I'd like to have a consistent stack to play with." And it's like, okay, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I are on typically at the same time, and I've kind of been itching for some Dota anyway. Do you have any other people in mind? And it's like, well, I have Nameless already kind of lined up. I was like, cool. I know Nameless. I played with Nameless. It's great. And I was like, all right. So we need a mid player, and we need an off laner, or a carry and an off laner. We need something, or I can play off lane and win in a mid and carry. Like we just need something. And so I contact Dread Beats because I know he was kind of looking. He's kind of missing the whole team aspect thing. Mm-hmm. Dota annoys him as a game at times, but he misses the team aspect, if that makes any sense. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, Digi, I know you like Digi and I know you like Nameless, and obviously you and I have been playing Dota together for 3 or 4 years. You want to play again? You want to play offlane again? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I was like, okay. So now who? So we're looking for a mid player or something to fill. And I realized picking up Dread Beats, that kind of left me to put to be in a core position. I was like, nah, I can swing it. It'll take some practice. There'll be some different things to work on, but after a little while, I mean, I think I could do well with it. And so we are looking and couldn't really decide on anyone. There were a couple names that came up, and we were all just kind of, no, not really. I don't know how they'd mesh with the team. And so finally, we kind of settled and was like, why not Kairai? So,
the classic question, why not Kairai?
Like, I mean, and there's a billion answers to that. Why not Kairai? Like, I can give you an answer right now. Anyway, so I kind of asked everyone, I was like, you guys want to just play with Kairai? And if we want to compete in 82L, either we do it at the highest level or we tell Kairai, hey, kick rocks and we'll grab another mid, and I'll be transparent with him and just let him know that. And they're like, yeah, sure. And he was like, okay, I'm cool with that. You know, I think we can do okay if we practice. And so picked him up, and then I kind of looked at it and I was like, we literally replaced AG. That's all we did. And it was not intended whatsoever. And so I felt terrible. And I didn't know how to message him or tell him. I didn't really know what to say other than like, because if you explain it over text, it sounds like, oh yeah, sure, man, you just replaced me. But so anyway, I really haven't said anything to AG, and if he does end up watching or listening to this, I really just wanted to say sorry for not really communicating with you. I know it's like a 4K team, so I shouldn't be taking that seriously anyway. But I just thought it was funny because it just all kind of fell into place like that. And I looked at the team, I was like, we literally replaced AG with Digi. I don't even know if that's a good trade. Sorry, Digi, but we did that. So. But AG and Kairai, they both can admit to it. Those two have different egos and they clash a lot. So team communication wise, that's a big reason why we kind of fell apart, is just communication wise, they were always going at each other. And that kind of toxic environment, it's kind of like dealing with mom and dad who were on the brink of getting a divorce, you know? So it's just being the kids in that situation. You're like, oh God. So, and I used to be the one that would speak up all the time to Kairai, but then AG took over. And then at a certain point I was just like, I don't know what to do or say. So anyway, I just thought it was hilarious because like I said, I looked at the lineup. I was like, yeah, we got a pretty solid team. Shit. I feel terrible. I feel like a dick, but shit. So anyway.
I mean, that kind of happened with me. I mean, obviously there's that whole break that I had with .p and that whole thing that happened. And I brought in, because Proud said he actually wanted to start a team. That's how, like, ZPS Zombies actually kind of started. We didn't call ourselves as that at the time, but Proud wanted to start up a team, and he asked me about starting up a team, and I was like, oh, all right, sure. And it was me, Proud, Skrunk, and Vafa. So it's all the same guys of Ham except for Ursinity. And so just minus Ursinity, and then I picked up a guy that I knew. Now, obviously, things have happened, and the team didn't really move forward after that first tournament that I played with Proud. Whether it was problems between us, or I'm not going to really talk about that on stream, or whether there's other people within the party on the team. But there's just a little bit of drama between all of us and stuff like that. It was just better to just not have that toxic environment. Kind of similar to what you were talking about.
Right.
You could argue and talk about this is bad here, this is bad there, but it's just at the end of the day, you don't want to have your team at odds versus each other. And that's when you said that you had Dreadbeats missed the team aspect. That's what you miss. You miss the team aspect of actually having people to forge together with, and right. Kind of I don't mean it exactly like this, but it's kind of like when you have coworkers and something or something, and you have been through a hard experience, and you guys come throughout the other side successful and victorious.
Yeah.
You grow in friendship because of that. So I totally understand that idea, and that's what everyone tries to shoot for, I feel like, in Dota half the time.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. And Dreadbeats and Kyra I've played with for almost 4 years now. I probably actually over 4 years. I don't know the exact dates, but so I'm kind of partial to them. If I have an option to pick somebody to play with in lower skill Dota, just to one, have fun, and two, just to fill that competitive void, I'm gonna pick those guys, even if it's in another game. I'm probably gonna look at Dreadbeats or maybe Kyrai, because he doesn't play a whole lot of other games besides CS:GO.
Right.
But Dreadbeats is always one of the first ones I look at, and I'm like, hey, you want to look at this game? Like when For Honor came out, and everyone thought that game was going to be huge. I don't that dead game. I don't really know if it really does much anymore. I don't know if people play it. But,
No, I'm pretty sure it's super dead, man.
everyone thought it was going to be huge, but anyway, when it came out, he and I were discussing. We're like, dude, we're going to play this. Let's play duos. Let's get into it. And then they just did so much wrong with it. But anyway, but yeah, Ginger Gamer says esports, like real sports, live on that team family-ish aspect, and it's pretty true. Unless you're like, your name is EE or something, or
oh man, jabs are real coming out from Kimbrell.
oh man. Anyway.
All right.
So yeah. Really enjoyed having AG. It was a lot of fun with him. I really like him as a person. Just he and Kairai. Anytime we'd make a decision, they'd argue during the game, and you're just kind of like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AG is a good player. I totally understand that. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. But besides that, man, anything else kind of cool going on? I mean, is your team working out a little bit? You guys still rocky?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit. It's all right. We've won some games. Like we won a game where I played Monkey King. That hero is fucking amazing. I've never actually really played him except when he first came out. So, but as a carry here recently, I haven't really played him. And so I played him, and I had a lot of fun, dude. There's nothing better. No, like easiest crazy as a moment as when you freaking use your Q on an entire creep wave along with like a weak Jakiro, and you kill the entire creep wave, and Jakiro's at like a quarter HP, and you're just like, fuck yeah, all that farm for free for one spell, and then I can kill this Jakiro easily.
Oh yeah.
So he's a lot of fun. Had a bad gyro game, and then I played mid as Zeus, and we won that. And then last night we played, and that's where I kind of ran into some problems playing carry. Is the first game I played as I actually don't remember what I played. I don't know. We won the first game. The second game I picked PL, and I was bouncing back and forth like, do I want to go Battle Fury this game? And Kairai was like, no, probably not, because we don't want to try to outfarm the other team because they're better late game than us. Okay, I understand. So I go to the defusal thing, and I honestly, like, it was just like I had a brain fart or something, but we were playing against Omnianite, and I was like, PL looks really good here. And we were talking about picking Gyro, and I was like, dude, PL, they have no counters to it, and he's a natural defusal carrier. We got him. Man. And then I get into the game, and about 3 minutes into the game, I'm like, all right. And in lane, he throws up his repel, and obviously I don't have the defusal yet, but I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about that later because I can just get a shit. And I just felt like an idiot. But
oh man.
So I just went the typical defusal. I didn't get a Manta, I got a Sanch and Yasha, and then it just kind of fell apart. Our team, if we had Gyro, we win the game. But with the PL, it was just not a great pick. And then the last game just was terrible picking. The first three heroes, we picked like a Bat Rider. I don't think Bat's very good right now. And then we picked Kairai, and I were kind of off in our own world. I was texting, and I think he was, I don't know what he was doing, to be honest with you. But and so our picks came up, and both of us were like, oh shit, what do we pick? And he panicked, picked Storm, and I had no idea what to play against Elysian, and I was just like, I don't know. And I picked Luna, which was probably not the greatest pick. And so anyway, that's just kind of spiraled out of control. But overall, though, I think it's going pretty well. I had to talk to Digi and was like, hey, man, if you're playing the 5, I need you to talk for the first 15 minutes of just like what you're doing, what we need to do, what you guys are doing, what Nameless is doing, where you guys are going, who's where, what's what, et cetera, et cetera. I need you to just call shots and communicate. And then after 15 minutes, we can do it as a team, or Kairai can take over, or eventually I can take over depending on what hero I'm on. And he's approached that pretty well, so I'm pretty excited. So I think adjusting to the carry won't be nearly as hard as I thought it would be, but there's going to be some moments like the PL moment where I was like, defusal, yeah, no, shit. Okay.
Well, the thing is, though, Kimbrell, is that if you understand the tri-lane, at least you still have that aspect, right. And you've been a part of the tri-lane for forever. You've gone to like 4 and 5 a lot.
Yeah,
so
every off lane we played against, we pretty much wrecked in lane. The Legion we did well against. I would say we probably tied in lane, and tying a Legion as a Luna, I count that as a loss, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like the laning went over well. My thing with PL is farming. If I didn't go, I got to that point where I'm like, okay, I'm not getting a Battle Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the typical items. Farming sucks. It sucks because your jungle, you take them slower. Pre-play, like it just, and then they had stuff to kind of mess with me if they were to gank me or whatever as like a force. And anyway, but farming outside of the lane is where I struggle the most. And so figuring that out and just getting timings down correctly and the items to farm, or deciding when, hey, not to farm the jungle, push the lane. I'm decent at that, but if I'm not on a hero that's going to push the lane fast, I need to figure out which I need to focus on. And so there's just aspects that I never really thought about, and you just as a support, you're thinking about a bajillion other things besides what the carry's thinking about. So,
Right.
Anywho.
Right. Well, I kind of want to talk about my week so far.
Dude, go ahead. You're freaking ranking, man. Blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of blowing mine too, man. Honestly, it's just like, so I've been playing a lot lately. Actually, real quick before I go into my rank and stuff like that, I want to say real quick, it's not that important, but ZPS Zombies is actually going to be done for a little bit. Maybe it'll be like the same thing as Pandas, where we'll like come back with a vengeance here in a little bit. But I honestly want to be focusing on my solo, and the guys kind of understood, and I'm just kind of taking off with it. And that kind of like fuels into the next conversation anyway. I've been doing pretty well as of late. I've actually gained all the way up to, my stats were all the way up to 5,948 the other day. I actually am now at 918. So it's a little lower, but overall, because I'm that high, I'm actually rank 700. What is it? Hold on real quick. Let me see.
777, I think, is what you posted in Discord.
I did, but it changes every like hour or so because like people lose and win. So right now I'm technically looking at it as a brand new fresh update. I am 771. So I mean about the same area. Basically you float between like 20 ranks at a time whenever you're like where you're at. Because obviously people win and lose, and they're switching around a lot at the top few ranks, or top 1,000 ranks really. So yeah, really excited. I am never been this high before. Almost breaking 6K. Almost like I was only like what was it? It was like 300. It was like 300 or 400 ranks away from being the same as Swindle Melons, and I was like, oh man, I can almost catch up to a pro player. That feels amazing. And honestly, every time I win a game, I gain about like 40 rank. So I think it's pretty doable, and hopefully next week I'll be able to like catch this momentum and just get to the, like top 500. That'd be amazing.
You gain how much per win typically?
It feels like 40 rank. How it's been going lately, because it jumps, and it's so weird how it jumps because it doesn't like actually update. It feels like for like the next hour. So like I'll win 3 games back to back, then my rank actually hasn't changed because it doesn't update for like X amount of time, and then all of a sudden I'll jump up like 120 MMR, and I'm like, oh okay, that's cool. Or not MMR, but 120 rank. Yeah.
Right, I got you.
So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must be nice.
I
tried.
It is nice. It is nice. But it does, like, I can't say the excuse anymore. Like there's times where I was like Divine 4, Divine 3, where I was like, all right, you guys are better than me, obviously. Like, let me know what you need to do. and like they would like not yell at me anymore if I screwed up. Now I can't say that. Now it's like if I screw up, they yell at me. I'm like, yep. I should know better, I guess. All right, my bad. But I did play with someone that was 72 in the world, so that felt pretty cool.
Theirs was red, right, instead of gold or whatever.
Or maybe 72 in just Americas, right? Because they have to be red if they're 72 in the world. But still, 72 in the Americas is still pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really high.
Yeah.
Gosh,
But
man.
pretty cool week.
Yeah, I tried solo, man, and no, I can't do it.
Dude, honestly, man, like, let me go kind of on a rant here. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
I feel like there's this like play that you need to make, and I've been kind of talking to people about it. And there's actually a Reddit post, so I want to credit the person who like talks about it on Reddit. A few weeks back, he was talking about how he made it to Divine 5 and how he did it as a support player. And I like honestly already did the same thing that he did, and it's kind of one of the reasons behind me getting to where I am. He always said that like the first 4 minutes, basically, you have to guarantee that you're getting the two bounty runes that pop up. So make sure you get all four runes by 4 minutes as a support, and you can really do that. You can easily do that by punishing out the off lane and just making sure that their game is complete balls, and then kind of go from there. Like they can still come back, but it's way harder when they're like denied out of it for the first 5 minutes, and then start dealing with like shadow fiends being crazy or tinkers having bots or things like that, and start going mid and stuff from there, because you need to guarantee that your carry can actually exist in lane as you always have needed to, and make sure that the offlane just like stays at level 1, because if they can't get their offlane to level 6 by the time that they need to when they fight, usually it's a one team fight every time. And the guys almost have to give the roamer a what is it? The tome. So like you can't give that to the offlane. I've actually done that a couple times when my offlane goes really bad, and my roaming has worked as a on my team, and our offlane just really sucks. And the thing is like you have to play that balance so carefully as a 4 right now. It's almost like the worst position to be in, because you don't get a lot whenever you kill people, but it's about forcing people out of lane. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll kill someone at like a crucial moment when they're like coming in to farm, like when they're actually under their tower, or like have people come in and TP in and then just leave. Like if I can get supports to TP out of their lane, that's such a big win for me now compared to like actually getting kills. So like I actually prefer to dive when when people are like at their towers. It's a weird way to play, and I definitely don't think that this is going to be a good habit to like keep in the future. But if you guys can learn how to dive under towers in this meta, I guarantee you that it will hugely pay off. And you don't want to overcommit in the first 10 minutes. Don't dive under tower in the first 10 minutes. But it's cool to still do it nowadays.
Don't let Kyra hear you say that.
Well, I mean, you can't die in the process. Like if you feed, then that's a huge problem, and then that's where games go completely off the rail, because like they'll be winning mid, and then a support will come into a lane and then feed a kill, and then it just makes it so much worse. Like I had a game the other day where a guy fed versus an SF, and it was just like SF was not needed to be ganked. He had like 6 souls. And the guy fed, and then he had all of a sudden had 15, and it was like, okay, well, we lost now because he has a free lane. So annoying.
I hate that hero so much. He's so popular right now, and I really like thinking about Shadowfield. I'm like, he's easy to gank most of the time, but then if he gets help and he gets a kill, like the lane's over. Especially like if you're playing a mid laner that can't deal with him after he gets so many last hits, he gets so many souls or whatever. Fuck. That hero and with this magic build, it's so good. So good, but so infuriating.
Dude, I had the craziest thing happen to me one time. They freaking had a guy, we had a guy that was like, had tick on him from Doom, and the SF like just died, but he got the last hit on the doomed hero, got full souls because he killed the hero, and he denied his own teammate, and then turned around requiemed and like blew us apart when we like knew that he didn't have enough damage to do anything beforehand. Just annihilated us. It was like
Jeez.
the best play I've ever seen.
How many souls do you get for denying a hero? Is it the same amount as killing a hero?
Yeah, the
That's
exact same.
crazy, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? It's like, whoa, what? How is that possible? Like, this hero does something incredible for his team, and then gets like 20 times the value because he comes back and kills us because of it. Yeah. It's insane. Like, I don't even want to play Doom versus a Shadow Fiend anymore. I'm just like afraid of that hero.
Right? He just denies. It's like, yeah, go ahead and doom him. No, I did. Please, doom him. Doom somebody on my team. I dare you.
I'll just get big. Doesn't matter. Oh god, hate that hero, dude.
Yeah, man. Solo for me has just been like I played a Silencer game, went over pretty well. Played a Zeus game. I got 2 kills at the start of the game when the Bounty Runes came out, and then I played a Warlock game. That was a lot of fun. Then after that, it just went to shit, man. So I don't know. You win 3 in a row, you lose 3 in a row. And then you win 1, lose 1. I guess I'm even technically, looking over the past little bit, but Skywrath, I played that hero. That hero was a lot of fun. You know, that Troll Warlord, that's who I played my first game yesterday. That hero is a hero. Especially if you have an OD on your team. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of quickly move on here at this point. We've kind of talked over, but I mean, me and Kimbrell both had some exciting news, so I felt good about talking at that point. So let's quickly go over our beers today so that we can get into the draft. Kimbrell, what are you drinking on today?
All right, man. So today I was running late because my bosses have started catching on to my Fridays. They were like, we see you staying only 6 or 7 hours, and if I stay 5 and I clock out, I get credited for 8. So I was like, that's fine. I'll clock out 6 hours in and just go home. And I finally got, I wouldn't say caught because I didn't I didn't get in trouble, but anyway. Yeah. So today I left at normal time, and I realized I was going to be running a little behind. So I stopped at that, and I had to get gas. So I stopped at the gas station, and I was like, please have something, some beer or something. Otherwise, I'm not going to have one. And I go in there, literally every beer I've had before or I've done on the show or something. Or it's a cheap like Coors Light or Miller Lite. And I'm just like, mother, are you kidding me? There's this one beer. I wouldn't even really call it a beer. If you've been watching the stream at all, you've seen me drink it. It's orange. It's Henry's hard soda, and it's orange soda. Orange soda actually sounded really good at the time when I was at the gas station. I don't actually ever have it all that much, and I used to really love it as a kid. And then it's alcohol, so I was like, why not? There we go, easy peasy. So Henry's hard soda made with cane sugar, and it is hard orange flavoring. So
see, dude,
it tastes like orange soda. So
I don't want to go down another tangent, but I have to. Like when I was young, I had to like rip up the floor of my basement, and I had to use this orange cleaner to do so. And like it made my house smell like orange so bad for like 2 weeks, and like now I can't drink orange stuff. Like it kills me now.
That's how I am with lavender. And not that I drink anything lavender, but the smell of lavender kills me. My ex-wife and we moved into a house, and literally not even 2 days after moving there, we got bed bugs.
Oh.
And I was just like, what are you kidding me? And it was just in our bedroom. So set up the bed, we took all the clothes out, did everything we needed to. We couldn't afford a new bed. So she looked up this home remedy, and it was like lavender vinegar mouthwash or something like that.
Oh.
And something else, all in a spray bottle, mixed it all together.
Oh.
And it was like the lavender extract, like oils stuff shit. And so we put it all in there, we sprayed the bed down, and we left it up there we slept in our guest bed for like 3 days. Went back up there, bed bugs were gone, actually, surprisingly. But that shit reeked of just lavender and vinegar and all that. And so, yeah, the smell of lavender freaking kills me every time. I like start getting sick to my stomach.
Oh man, that is an awesome story. Those are the stories I love hearing about, like these like random smells that people are just like, nope, can't deal with that smell. And it's like, for most people, it's pleasant, and it's the same thing with orange for me, man. Like anytime someone pulls out like an orange popsicle or just an orange soda or something, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. All right, and fuck you, Gucci, talking shit, man. Talking about gas station, hard soda, beer stuff. Don't dance game me. All right, that's all I have to work with right now. Otherwise, it would have been like 15 minutes late.
It's all right. We still like you, Kimbrell. It's all good. So we got for me we got Founders Brewing. That's what the company is, and it is Backwoods Bastard. It looks like a little wizard on the front. I mean, you guys know me. If they got like a wizard with an axe that looks like a lumberjack, I'm gonna buy that because that looks really cool. And I should probably not buy my beer by that way, but I'm going to, and I always will.
Way. Especially for this show, it's like you hit so many. What's next? The kitty cocktail. Freaking Jordan Hansen. Jordan's not even old enough to drink, and he's talking shit. Anyway, that's how you buy beer, man. Especially when you go to the liquor store and you're like, I really don't know because we've had episode 43. We've had 43. So like, especially if you have one liquor store that you go to or whatever, or I don't know if you order yours or go to a liquor store, but if there's one you go to constantly, like eventually you just have to get to where you just start looking at covers of beers. You know, like, that one looks cool and it has a cool name, and you grab it.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I go to my liquor stores, and then there's also like there's one that I go to like every few months. Of like, there's like this huge grocery store in actually Ohio, so a state over, but it's only like an hour and a half drive for me. And they have like, it sounds weird, but this grocery store like basically has like an amusement park in it. There's like it's from my hometown, and there's actually like a train track that goes around it because it's so massive. Like a little like miniature train track, and like there's like a lot of different like random stuff about it. But their beer section is like bigger than most stores. So, and they like get stuff imported from all over the place. So like I always end up stopping over there and grabbing some beer. And this is actually where they came from. So, just some good beer. It's actually like 11%. So I'm already starting to feel it after I'm like about finishing my first one, because it's basically worth like 2 or 3 beers. I got a couple on them, so you may have the edge on me today, my friend. I mean, you have the edge on me some days, but I think this day is going to be extra special.
Yeah, because this one's, it's a gas station beer. It's like 3.8% alcohol volume, so I'd probably drink all 6 of these and I'd make myself sick, if anything, instead of buzzed. So.
Nice. Well, You ready for some drafting, man? I am so ready for some drafting.
Yeah, I sure am. I think I've done it once in the last. Besides our show, I think I've done draft like once in the last week or so.
You got this.
Definitely gonna start playing some more captain's mode though, because I'll pick. Especially when you're like, oh hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And so somebody picks something, and you're like, "Oh, well, what do we want to do with that?" And no one ever. Anyway, all pick just sucks if you have a 5 stack sometimes.
Oh god, yeah, I know that exact same feeling, man.
But captain's mode, U.S. East, pick side selection. I got it last week. Let's see what happens this one. Broke that streak.
You did break the streak. Oh shoot! Now you're gonna have your own streak, man. I'm not gonna get it for like 2 months.
All right. You know what? I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna go with Dyer instead of first or second pick because I really don't know. I'm okay with either.
I had a plan for second pick last week, but I got first pick and I did it anyway. So I'm gonna do first pick actually this week again.
Okay. So are you picking? That means I'm picking last. Okay, so I will pause.
No, yeah, you're picking last, so you're gonna have to pause.
Yeah.
And just tell me what it is.
I will remember to do that this time.
Good, my friend.
All right, loading in the game.
All right. Okay, so a little bit different this week. I always try to do something new, something exciting for you guys so that you can watch and at least have a excitement about what we're drafting and understand what we're able to do here. So I'm first gonna ban off Night Stalker though. It's just a problem for most of my drafts and a problem for today's draft as well.
Banning Gyrocopter, kind of a problem for the draft I'm thinking about. Also, the hero is really good, really annoying. Pretty good mid, pretty good carry. So, be gone.
I am actually going to do something that's banning on what Kimbrell likes to play. So generally, if you don't know who you're drafting versus, I don't actually suggest doing this style of drafting. But since I know that Kimbrell likes this hero and it's kind of still painful to my draft, I'm going to ban it. I'm going to ban out Tusk.
Okay. Yeah, good hero. Good hero. Nameless is actually doing really well with it yesterday.
Excuse me.
Oh, dude, don't say excuse me. I'm gonna burp a lot. This is like soda beer. I'm gonna burp so much. I don't know if that's why you said excuse me, but
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, giving the listeners and watchers a fair warning. There's gonna be a lot of burping. I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of another carry. Where's she at?
Your turn to ban.
Oh
Get rid
wow.
of Dusa.
Already, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You really got to pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left.
Okay. I'm gonna ban.
Pick your hero. 5 seconds.
Actually, I don't really need to ban that. That's okay. I'm gonna ban. Nyx.
Enemy's turn to ban.
It's a good ban. I'm gonna ban. You picked it last week, I think. I don't know if you'll pick it this week, but I'm gonna ban Silencer.
Okay.
It's your hero, and it's also very annoying. So
I got to. It's a really good hero right now for multiple different reasons. I got to pick up the clock.
The enemy's turn to pick. Relax.
all right. So Jakiro and Earthshaker are not happening. What other heroes are there that it's just like literally can't cast anything because of him? I don't remember. Anyway.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. You better pick your hero. 5 seconds.
All right, so I'm gonna pick
Enemy's turn
Mirana. And
hello, it's your turn to
Beastmaster.
pick.
Oh shoot! I didn't think you were gonna pick Beastmaster. That was actually the hero I was gonna pick next. You dirty bastard.
All right, one soda down.
10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron.
Oh, you maniac, you.
5 seconds left now.
What?
Well, I think you're gonna ban it otherwise. It's a good hero to pick up. I'm gonna pick up Shadow Fiend now.
Oh, go away! You're so gross. Stop it. Every week you have a hero that I'm just like, fuck off, man.
Oh man.
I
Too good.
hate him so much. All right. Ugh.
You really got to pick a hero. You got 10
Gross
seconds
me.
left.
Anyway. All right. So bans. Yeah, the Shadow Fiend. I'm gonna get rid of. Need a carry, offlane, and a support. You have a Roman support. I'm actually gonna get rid of. Where is he at? Hello? There he is. Get rid of Disruptor.
Hello.
Okay.
Probably would have been a decent pick for me having Beastmaster, but I really don't want to deal with that.
Gonna get rid of a classic clock counter, and also Kimbrell likes to ban and pick based on his teammates. So if I know that that's going to be a problem, then you got to look at who would generally be the guys he'd be picking for. And Nameless is one of the guys who plays Rubik all the time, so I'm going to ban Rubik. Also really good versus Clock, so.
Oh man, it just makes me think of 82L when a team was first banning Rubik every game. And it's like, guys, he plays other heroes. Continue to ban it, please, but he plays other heroes.
10 seconds to pick your hero.
All right. You have the. I just realized you have the Shadow Fiend Clockwork thing going too.
5 seconds
I
left.
do.
Now.
All right. Phew. Get rid of Legion Commander.
Dummy.
I am going to get rid of Shadow Demon
Enemy's turn.
so that he can't save people from SF blasts or set up good arrows.
All right.
You really got to pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine. Your turn to pick.
Pick up
bro.
Ogre. I feel like Ogre versus Clockwork. Clockwork can hook him and start battery assaulting and cogs. Ogre's a beefcake, so kind of need somebody to help live through that. Also, just being able to get off spells. It's always good. Having the extra lockdown for the Mirana arrow if you need it, pretty good. And also just following up the roar. Not too shabby.
5 seconds left now.
I'm going to do Winter Wyvern. I think Winter Wyvern's really strong versus any melee core offlane, so you can kind of put that pressure out on a Beastmaster. Also, if you have a creep, it actually can be a very bad problem, because Splinter Shards, unless you do micro it really well, can actually be very deadly versus a Beastmaster.
Okay.
10 seconds to pick.
Also, a really good teamfight ultimate.
Moron. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine.
Ban Nyx and Silencer's band. I'm actually going to pick up
Hello.
an
It's your
Invoker.
turn to pick.
Okay. I'm going to pick up a little bit of a different hero than what people were probably expecting. It's actually something that I've been liking a lot. I'm going to have to explain at the end of the draft why I'm picking this up versus Kimbrell's draft. There's not like clear-cut reason why you'd pick it up. But I'm going to pick up Puck.
Enemy's turn to ban.
Fuck. Okay. Let's see. So you still need a carry. And let's see. I have vision for that one.
Oh man,
Burst
Rick,
for
there's
that
only 10
one.
seconds left to pick a hero. Yeah, 5 seconds left
Give me
now.
piercing for that one. Gonna get rid of
Your
Drow
turn to
Ranger.
ban.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god! Oh!
Dude, you have Puck, Wyvern, and Shadow Fiend. I was just like, All right, Jug, no, we have the lockdown for him. Monkey King, we have the vision for him. PA, we have the burst for him. And then I just kind of went down the line. I was like, Drow. Oh.
God damn it, Kimbrell.
Is that what you were planning? Was Drow
Yes.
a Drow strat?
Yes.
Oh, Ripperoni, man.
Oh my god. That was such a perfect drow strat. Oh my god. Damn you, Kimbrell. Alright, well, it needs a carry. Gotta stop freaking out. Hmm. This guy. This guy and his craftiness. Alright. Trying to think of what would be too big of a problem for me. I like a lot of different aspects of this draft. Even though I have a puck to deal with it, I think it's still not the best matchup, and I just don't want to have it. I'm going to ban a Faceless Void. You already have Invoker. You have some good like lineup stuff there. You got Arrow. You got a lot of different things available to you. I just don't want to deal with it. And I don't want to pick here to deal with it at the end.
10 seconds to pick your hero.
Damn you, man.
Moron.
If I had Drow, Void wouldn't have been a problem either. Oof.
"20 seconds, Flubb."
20 seconds indeed, my friend. Think I'm gonna do it. I hate doing it, but screw it. I'm gonna pick Chaos Knight.
Okay. Might change up my draft. I don't know. Nah.
Oh man, Rick, there's
All
only
right,
10
I'm not
seconds
gonna
left to
pick.
pick a hero.
I'm gonna pause. All right, I did it.
He did
I
it.
didn't fuck up. All right, I'm last picking a Luna.
Luna. Alright. Alright, so interesting drafts here. So those of you who are listening in, we're going to have... I banned out Night Stalker, Tusk, Nyx, Brubik, Shadow Demon, Void. Kimbrell banned out a Gyro, a Medusa, Silencer, Disruptor, Legion Commander, and Drow. The drafts ended up being me having a Clockwork, Shadow Fiend, Winter Wyvern, Puck, Chaos Knight. Sorry, beer. And then we have Kimbrell on Mirana, Beastmaster, Ogre, Magi, Invoker, and Luna. Why don't you go through your draft first, Kimbrell? Because I think mine's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay. Before I go too much into it, is there anything that you notice, like just big time, about my draft at all? Like
Pretty heavy push.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'll just go over it.
Okay.
Because I was pretty vague. So I picked up Mirana. Really like the hero right now. I do think she's pretty strong, especially as a roamer. I think there are other heroes that do just as good. Like Tusk, I think is better.
Wait, is it everybody has a stun?
No.
Okay.
But that is a good point.
Okay.
I do like Mirana as a roamer. I think Tusk is better, but it was banned. But having her here, it kind of fits in with what everybody else has as well. Arrow's really good to match up with the Beastmaster Roar if you need another, long stun. It's also good if you can set it up with Ogre. You can set it up with Tornado. Setting it up with Luna is kind of hard because their stun doesn't last very long. But I feel like some arrows should definitely be hit in this draft. Starfall is always a good spell. Puts out a lot of damage. And then with the team I have, I'm going to have Vision from Beastmaster and his Hawk. So having Mirana being able to smoke and Mirana ult if you need to do both. It just her ult allows you to roam as 5 and just gank in their jungle with the Beastmaster Vision. I feel like that's really strong. Beastmaster I picked, I feel like the hero pushes like crazy. He's really strong. I've seen a lot of people go Helm on him. So they have 2 creeps plus their boar and their hawk. It's a lot of vision game plus push game. And a lot of micro game. At that point, I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I used to be able to play Beast before the extra creep, but I don't know about it anymore. But anyway, axes are always good, especially with the buff on the axes. And then Roar. Roar is obviously really good. It's a really good spell. I think it's pretty good, especially for your Puck and your Shadow Fiend. Chaos Knight, not so much unless you catch him out before he pops his ult. Ogre, like I said earlier, I need somebody kind of that through Clockwork if he tries to mess with him. And I do think Ogre is probably one of the few supports that can. He's just, like I mentioned earlier, he's a beefcake. Like, I mean, he has 5 HP regen or something like that, and a decent amount of armor. So any time in lane, he should be able to push out. I know Clockwork's not going to be, actually, Puck's probably going to be off lane. Anyway, she'll be able to just beat out anybody, I think, that tries to go on him, besides, obviously, like a farmed Chaos Knight or Shadow Fiend. But just a good support, like I said earlier. It has a nice stun that helps set up a Mirana arrow and a slow as well. And then he has his what is it called? Bloodlust. That's really good, especially for Luna or Invoker. I picked the Invoker because I saw something that I had with Beastmaster Mirana, and I kind of went with Ogre as well, and now Invoker. Invoker also has just a ton of I don't know, he's freaking crazy. I've actually played the hero like twice in my life, but I think he's pretty good, especially if you put him with the team I have. It provides a lot of lockdown, a lot of damage against the Wyvern. If Wyvern has to use his healing ability on anybody, you can just Sunstrike that person. They're literally a sitting target for you. Or tornado them, either one, or EMP, whatever you need to do. They're, like I said, literally a sitting target. So he would have to be careful, or she would have to be careful with where she's placing those heals. And Invoker provides a lot of pushing as well, like the other heroes I have do. I banned the Drow because I did see your 3 range, and I was just like, and then your Shadow Fiend not only would be starting in lane with the souls, he'd be starting in lane with the aura, and I was just like, no, that's not happening.
I'm pretty sure I'd be hitting with a ranged hero over 100 at like I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes. Oh man.
So anyway, and then I picked up the Luna, and the reason I picked up the Luna is because of all the heroes before her. I wanted to push as well. I started this draft out thinking, I'm just gonna push. Really good. Just push down all the towers, take an early advantage vision wise. You already have a Beastmaster where you're gonna have better vision, and a Mirana where you can smoke gank as much as you need to. So I thought, why not pick up a Luna to help me push down those towers? And then, like I said, I picked up the Luna and the Invoker, realizing what I had with Mirana, Beastmaster, and Ogre. Every single hero besides Luna has a form of attack speed increase. Mirana with Leap, Beastmaster with his passive, Ogre with Bloodlust, and Alacrity on Invoker. So Luna is going to be hitting like as fast as she can onto towers. If she gets a Manta and you get up to that tier 3, if you break that tier 3, those barracks they're just gone. They're destroyed. Initiating onto an Invoker who has Tornado has a Tornado. It's a really good spell, especially to take high ground or to defend high ground. Setting up a decent amount. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot going on. Like I said, I saw the increased attack speed, and I thought I could really push the hell out of somebody with this. So I picked up a Luna. I considered picking up a Razor. I thought it could be pretty good. But I feel like Chaos Knight does really good against a Razor, just being able to burst him down with all of his illusions. And you're not really sure which one to focus on your leash unless you have it on him before he pops ult. Because I don't think his ult breaks it. But
no, it does not.
Yeah. And then I thought about maybe Jug, but wasn't quite sure. And then there really weren't. Troll was another one, but I felt like that would kind of be overkill. I kind of want something to help with team fight if I need to. And I just felt like Troll with his attack speed ult would just kind of be overkill with the attack speed. So yeah, that's my draft. Feel like it's decently simple, a lot more roaming than my typical drafts go. There's not the clear cut this skill, then this skill, then this skill kind of team fight. It's more A lot of roaming, more pushing, and just ganking and taking quick fights, picking off here and there, and then just pushing. So
Definitely. I do like certain aspects of your draft. Indeed, like there's a lot of play that like you definitely pick some stuff that not only works with your team but also counters some of my heroes. Um, Especially Sunstrike, obviously with a I actually picked up the what is it? The Winter Wyvern. Looking at it, I was like, okay, Winter Wyvern actually could use a heal and keep people alive because a lot of your stuff was right click before that and wasn't a whole lot of magic damage. Especially if you had like your Mirana as a support, she really doesn't offer that much magic damage or right click. Like she just kind of does like a mixture of both and is really just about the arrow. So I was like, oh, okay, that's not that big of a deal, and I can just actually have that. But that kind of had to change my plans around, and it actually worked out okay. I still like my draft, and what I was thinking about is actually setting up this draft for a Tinker draft. That's what I started out going as. I had the idea of maybe putting it into a Drow draft eventually with the Tinker, letting him get some more last hits, letting his laning phase be that much better, and kind of going from there. But Kimbrell did a good job at seeing my plan and understanding where it was going. When you banned out the silencer, that kind of like solidified my idea about going for the Tinker. It actually could have been a really good Tinker draft, and it actually would have been just as good to pick Tinker at the slot of SF. But there's a lot of play that I could do with an SF that I couldn't quite do with the Tinker. It also it's a weird matchup with a Beastmaster. Beastmaster is like kind of good versus him, but kind of not because Hawk takes like so much damage from March now, and there's not like a lot of play there. And plus, I was seeing it in the field itself, so I was like, hopefully, I could pick up the Beastmaster, and then you would ban out the SF because I had Clockwork, and then it'd be okay. I could just pick up Tinker second phase. So that was my thought process. I ban out these three heroes that are really good versus Tinker, kind of set myself up, but still I have first pick. So I can pick up a Clockwork, which is generally the best counter to Tinker in the game, and make it so that he doesn't want to pick up the guy that I'm still pining over. And I had that set up, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, versus Beastmaster, it's good to have it's good to have Tinker to have the march to destroy all of his units because that's one of the things that's really nasty about him right now is getting that extra creep. But you can do the same thing with SF using his blasts as well, and it's very strong versus a Beastmaster. So you always got to keep that in mind, especially with laning phase. If you do this idea where you're having Clock and SF, you have to have other stuff available to you. That's not just because you want your other lanes to be really solid. Because SF is not the best solid laner, so you're giving a solid lane by picking Clock in the beginning. So Kimbrell saw the Clock, and he thought Beastmaster is a really good pick versus him, which he is. He's a fantastic pick versus Clock. You can use your creeps to block. You can use your creeps to not only and also be around you whenever you're using battery assault. So there's a lot of play there, especially also with Mirana being able to leap out. So Clock is not as useful in that aspect. He's basically there to give SF souls in the very beginning, and to whenever he hooks in, he's going to have to push people towards the enemy. He's going to have to go in on the Lunas, on the Luna and the Invoker, definitely. And it's going to be hard versus Invoker as well. Again, kudos to Kimbrell, because he has the Forge Spirits, and there's just a lot of junk in the way if I do get a good hook. So Clock's definitely going to have a rough game this game, but besides that, I purposely picked to get runes with the other three heroes. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I saw Silencer was knocked out, so I needed to have team fight, and I needed to have people that could hopefully maybe contest runes or like sneak around and grab runes with a less number amount of people. Puck is really good at doing that. She can be aggressive and try to grab a rune like one-on-one. She can do a lot of damage versus a melee hero or someone that has a very small range like Luna if the supports go away. And honestly, I've found that like Puck and Quap are people that that people don't expect in the offlane right now, but they're actually two of the strongest offlane heroes because they provide a lot of team fight, a lot of damage, a lot of availability to like pressure that lane, and like move around in the trees while still getting experience from denies, which I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of people pick up Rasta and things like that. Just like, okay, if you're in lane and you get caught, you automatically die. So you need people who have that escape, that availability to get away, to be able to take advantage of the lane and get the experience from the denies. So that's why I like Puck. And it's also another reason why I picked Puck is because Kimbrell has these guys that are pretty hard to actually catch out Puck. Like you could use a slow on Puck, but you just phase shift out of it, make sure that he doesn't exist, it doesn't actually hit him, or you can phase shift out of arrow. Yes, he can lock you down with a Ogre stun and then throw an arrow and then, or like hit you with a Luna stun, so on and so forth. But it's very hard to get an Ogre all the way up to a Puck and be able to stun him if he's a good Puck. He should be able to keep people out of range, see the Ogre running up at him, and just move away whenever the Ogre comes up at him as well. Plus, the stun doesn't really last that long. So unless the Mirana is positioned completely perfectly to get like a combined stun at that point, and even then, it's not going to be like a 5-second arrow. It's going to be like a 2-second arrow, maybe 3. If he's very lucky and they combine up the Luna stun with the Ogre stun perfectly well. So it's a hard lane for that Luna to actually farm unless the 2 supports are there. And if the 2 supports are there, then I've won my lane mid. Because if I have a SF with maximum souls at the very beginning, last hitting versus anyone in lane, then it will be a 1 lane for me there. And I really like CK. CK with some other strong harass heavy support is very, very strong. So I have the Winter Wyvern CK matchup, and I was actually describing it in draft. I said Winter Blast can be a problem. Now, let's say me and Kimbrell have drafted these teams for pro players, and we have a Beastmaster that has a really good micro that moves creeps away. With a CK, you can actually still pull him closer to his creeps and let the Winter Blast actually work on top of his creep already. So you can do a really good play with having both CK and a CK and a Winter Wyvern at the same time. Also, it's not the same thing, but let's say if you have a CK go in on someone and they like stun out an area with a CK, let's say he uses Reality Rift on someone, he doesn't have his ultimate up, or they killed all of his illusions and he still uses Reality Rift, you can use a ultimate with Winter Wyvern on the person that he has actually used his Reality Rift on, and it causes everyone to attack that person, and they have lowered armor. They still have that lowered armor from the Reality Rift, so there's actually a play between those 2 heroes as well. There's also a play that you have the availability of having the the armlet. People always talk about using armlet with CK. It's something I highly recommend always whenever you're playing the hero. But one of the problems is you get really, really low. So you can still make use of your heal outside of combat. So you have CK go off to the side, he drops his armlet, gets down to like 1 health. You then use your heal off to the side in the trees or something like that, so a Sunstrike doesn't have the likelihood of hitting you. And then you move out and you use your armlet again when you have a bunch of health and push out the lane. So there's some play that you have between all of these heroes that not only work in a team fight scenario, but work at runes, work at laning, and that's what you want to do. You want to try to find all these different little key niches that you are seeing at the very beginning of a draft. So like if I see a silencer banned out, I need to make sure that I have good team fight, because it's kind of a battle of team fights at that point. If a silencer's out of a draft, team fight is something that's incredibly important to have, because there's not someone that just says, I end all team fights. Plus, I banned out Rubik. And Rubik is the other hero that says, I end all team fights because I steal your team fight and I use it right back in your face. So that's why I picked up the Winter Wyvern and the Puck in the second phase. and I moved into the CK pretty much with the main purpose that Kimbrell banned out my Drow, and I had to do something else with the draft, and I went in this direction because he had a lot of single target damage. At that point, he had a lot of single target damage. Luna does a decent job at clearing them. Not the best, but better than most. And there's still an Invoker, so Kimbrell still has some answers to it. It's just not. I still feel comfortable with the CK as well, especially if I get a heart. So that's going to be my objective for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. I do really like your idea though. You have a lot of like super good setup for a Sunstrike. Sunstrikes are going to be so easy to hit. If you get an arrow or you get a Beastmaster roar, easy Sunstrike. And my guys are pretty squishy, except for CK really. So you don't even have to. That's the funny thing versus Clock. You don't even have to use any of that stuff. You can just Sunstrike him in his cogs. So.
Right. I was thinking that earlier when you were talking. I was like, if you cog somebody, it's kind of just like suicide, to be honest. Like, he's gonna take a lot of damage. I don't think he might not die, but he's still a lot of damage. So.
Mm-hmm. And with the Ogre too, you have that availability. If I do hook an Ogre and then cogs him in, it's like, okay, Ogre just man modes him and punches him in the face while a Sunstrike comes in. So I hear you, man. There's definitely some play with yours. This I feel like I say this like every 3 weeks, but I feel like this is our closest draft yet.
It's really good.
I see a lot of merits that you have, and it would have to come down to some pretty ridiculous gameplay. I almost want to give you the edge. I want to say it's like 55-45, or even like 60-40.
Yeah, I think Faceless was a pretty good ban, to be honest. Looking at it now, if I pick up a Faceless with all that attack speed, he just he kills whoever he chronos, right? And then you have the arrow set up as well to follow up with the chrono. You have the roar. That's just a lot of lockdown and a lot of attack speed for a Faceless Void who's just going to continue to bash you. So
and classic Invoker, dude, like Sunstrikes,
right. Yeah,
Meteor.
Invoker, yeah. So that was a really good ban, actually. Now looking back at it, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think before your CK gets, excuse me, before your CK gets a ton of farm, I'm hopefully able to push you quite a bit.
See, that's why I gave you the advantage, because you have some insane push, my friend, and like I might be able to do some side split pushing, you know, because I could use CK ultimate to split push and get maybe a tower in and of itself. I could use SF. He's a natural split pusher. Same thing with a puck. There's a play there, but you have the same thing, man. You got Invoker, you got Beastmaster. There's a lot of play between there. You have natural invis to get away, so I have to have my supports getting this dust. And Winter Wyvern doesn't want to get close. Like, it's hard to get Winter Wyvern close enough to dust and use his abilities at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if that Wyvern gets close, like, it's best if you just kill it too. I mean, she can completely turn around a fight with her ult, so killing her is pretty good.
And I do feel good about, like, I mean, you picked up Luna, which works out really well, but, like, if I ult someone, Luna will kill them too. So, like you said, she has super fast attack speed. If I do it, like, just at the right time, it could be really strong.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it on Luna, though. Your right-click damage isn't really that great, besides Luna.
Right. Maybe Invoker a little bit, but...
I definitely need to focus Luna with this draft. Like, if I don't kill Luna, then you just, like... oh my god. Your Luna's insane. It is 4 Protect 1, man. It's interesting. I haven't seen one of those drafts in a while, but it works very well versus mine.
Trying to think. Your Shadow Fiend will have an advantage mid, definitely. So hopefully he doesn't snowball. Because playing against a snowballing Shadow Fiend is a pain in the ass. But...
that's one thing I felt like my draft was a little bit stronger, is that you have to have the Ogre up there to make Puck's life hell. And I don't think a Mirana can push out a Shadow Fiend with all the charges that or with all the souls he has by herself.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless you land, like, Cold Snap into a decently long arrow, I mean, killing him or you land just a straight up arrow. Killing him's kind of hard with just a Mirana. Or if you have tornado like kind of early. I know a lot of people don't skill it early, or no, not skill it, but don't use it early because it's very short ranged. But and it doesn't last very long. But if you have like a short tornado with an arrow, maybe you can get a kill. But other than that, if you try to leap in there and kill him, like we were talking about earlier, he can turn around and fight. Say, using her Q and just punches down the Mirana, and then you just give Shadow Fiend free souls. Ugh, it's so gross. If you didn't have Shadow Fiend, I would feel a lot more confident. I do think.
Would you feel confident versus a Tinker too?
Tinker, maybe not.
Because that was like my two options.
I think I would have changed it up. If you would have picked Tinker, like even if you picked him like third or fourth pick, I think my fourth and fifth pick would have been a little different.
Yeah, definitely. It changes the draft for sure.
Yeah. So, but I do, like I said, I do think pushing wise, if you're not able to punish the Luna as much as you need to, kind of hard to deal with. There's a lot of attack speed, a lot of pushing power already. Even without the Luna, that's a lot of pushing. So
I do at least have raises and orb and splinter blast. So.
You have quite a bit to push back the lanes, but
still nasty. Like you said, when you get a Manta and you can like forcefully have something to tank with illusions, it's pretty nasty. But yeah, man, this was a good one for sure. Yep. Is there anything else you want to say about like items or anything? I think everything's pretty self-explanatory for both of our drafts here.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, there's nothing that I would change really that out of the normal items from all. Maybe Beastmaster. I don't know. I know he gets a helm, so nowadays helm and Necrobook. I don't know which one gets first. I haven't watched enough, but I think those are pretty good. I think maybe having a blink to jump onto the Shadow Fiend or the Wyvern or the just getting close enough to CK before he pops his ult, pretty good. So
generally, I think helm is like crucial on Beastmaster now, man.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like first item
or
if it was like okay.
People generally go Tranquils into Helm because like you just get like so much health regen. You don't really need the mana as long as you get like a couple clarities and you just exist, and it's insane. You can't do anything to them.
But yeah, no, there's definitely no different item changes. I think so.
For me, I have to say that like sometimes you think that whenever a puck goes offlane, you're gonna be trying to get a blink dagger as fast as you can. Not necessarily. There's like people who like go down the blink or going for a Midas. I definitely don't think you get Midas this game. You don't want to do Midas versus an Invoker. Invoker's always going to win that game if you're going for the like late style Midas, unless you have like super style, I don't know, like Spectre or something, super late game style. But you definitely don't want that this game. You want to try to have a decent mid game because he has so much push. So I would actually try to get a Veil. Veil is actually not only very good with Puck, but it's incredibly good with Shadow Fiend, obviously, nowadays. And you can kind of go that magic build with Shadow Fiend. So that's what I was kind of telling you guys, is that wanted to tell you guys need to have the Veil on Puck in that situation, and then have the magic damage coming out from a Shadow Fiend with a CK giving your physical damage availability in this match. But besides that, interesting draft, man. I feel pretty confident about this both ways. I'm probably going to give it to you this week. I think you deserve it. I think this is a really good draft. I actually think if I go late game, I kind of win. It's like the past the 40-minute mark. I think if you there's still a chance for you to win past the 40-minute mark for sure, but
yeah,
your push is just so hard, dude.
Once it gets to that 40-minute mark, should be able to split push, even with just a Beastmaster. Like split pushing will become my game, I think, because Chaos Knight at 40 minutes is scary, and Shadow Fiend at 40 minutes is scary, and Puck at 40 minutes with probably level 25 is scary. So split push probably becomes my game at that point with the Invoker and Beastmaster. So
yeah, definitely. Well, cool, man. Well, that does it for us today. I'm going to talk about our beers real quick. So, Kimbrell, you want to talk about your beer first, and then I'll do mine.
It's pretty good. And I don't really taste that much alcohol at all, which makes sense. And like I said earlier, it has 3.6 or something like that, 3.8% alcohol in the bottle. Tastes like an orange soda, to be honest. It's not bad. I couldn't have all 6 in one sitting and make me sick. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I mean, it's nothing to get crazy about. But if you're wanting orange soda and you're wanting to get a buzz and you don't get sick after so much sugar, it's a decent drink. So.
I'll leave that to you, my friend. I'm never drinking orange ever again. But for myself, the Backwoods Bastard is a pretty good drink. The Wizard did not disappoint on the front. He has a really weird taste. This beer kind of tastes, I don't want to say it tastes like chocolate, but it has like a familiar taste when you taste like a really bitter chocolate in the very beginning. And I really enjoy that myself. Let me get another swig here real quick.
Tastes like leather.
It tastes like leather. But it's really good for being 11%. Sometimes the 11% or higher kind of has like too much of an alcohol taste. It definitely has an alcohol taste, but it's not overbearing. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. It's still like it was rough to drink at the very beginning, especially when I was first starting with it. It's not a beer that I would start the night with, but it's definitely something I would get like second or third. It keeps the buzz going, and it's pretty good. Still tastes pretty fine, and honestly, the second beer is much better than the first. So, yeah.
Those beers aren't bad though. You have that second one, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it now. Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're generally wanting from the night, anyways. Those types of beers. I just like it's not one. You know those beers that you're like, oh my god, this is so tasty. I want to keep drinking this. It's not that, but it's tasty whenever you have that buzz going. So.
Right.
But yeah. All right. So I think that closes up the show. Unless you got something else to say, Kimbrell.
I'm gonna go on a little tangent real quick. Kind of talking about our future, I guess. You and I discussed the name. We've talked about it on the last podcast. So we are going to have our new show coming up pretty soon. We haven't had an official date on when we're going to start, but I believe we're going to do Mondays. Is that what we said?
Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of bouncing back and forth. We were talking about Sundays or Mondays, and yeah. I honestly kind of wanted to talk to you about this a little bit more, but we didn't have time in the very beginning, so we'll talk about it right here on the show. But basically, I think what we're going to shoot for, unless Kimbrell disagrees with me right now, is like we're going to shoot for the last Sunday or Monday of the month. We'll let you know ahead of time, a few days, so that you guys can, look out for it. Try to follow us on Twitter to get all the information. We'll try to tweet it out from all of our accounts, or at least retweet from whoever sends it out. And we will let you guys know which day it's going to be. But we're going to keep the same time. It's just going to be the day that is going to be important. Because, sometimes the last Sunday is going to be like, that's when the next month starts. It'll start on the 1st on a Sunday. And then you don't necessarily want to have a show on Sunday when it's like ending up the month. So right. We might do it on Monday or whatever. We might just like switch it up a little bit, but we're going to try to do it at the end of every month. It's going to be a monthly podcast that we're talking about so that we can kind of summarize all the events and give you guys our feedback and kind of have like a really relaxed show. Not so structured.
Definitely looking forward to it. The show name that Flubb and I have agreed on, I believe, right?
Yeah.
100% on it?
Yeah, we're 100%.
Is Monthly Refresher. As those of you that play Dota know, there's obviously an item in the game, Refresher, and to keep it Dota related, because we are going to be talking about in the last month what's happened in Dota tournaments or pro scene, like our rant last week about EE. It's, might see more of that on here, or some kind of secret we found, or some patch that drops, or something like that. We'll just be talking about what's happened in the last month, and I feel like it's it's a refresher show. So monthly refresher is what we're going to call it. Just need a logo, all that stuff. But I'm pretty excited for it.
Me too.
Definitely going to have to do a little research. That way we have enough content to talk about. But yeah, so it's essentially like Flubb Date, I think, but it's just a little bit. It'll be longer episodes because it'll be over more time, and it'll be me and you. So
right. So there will be a back and forth, and we can both give our opinions. And like I said, Kimbrell is much more attuned to. I feel like he's much more attuned to what the scene is and what's happening. So there will be a little bit of a back and forth there, and it'll probably bring a better content to you guys. That's what I felt like with Flubb Date before, was that it didn't have what Kimbrell brings to the show before, and it needs that. We're a duo, and I'm excited about this new show because it will bring something that we have on this show to a show that seemed a little stale, in my opinion, before. So I'm very excited about it.
And like Flubb mentioned, there's not going to be as much structure, so it's not going to feel as formal, I guess you could say. Like, we're not going to have this draft where we're sitting down and there's silent moments where we're thinking. It's just going to be a bunch of back and forth. Kind of what the early 20 minutes of this show kind of goes over is we might do a little personal life just to kind of intro the show, and then just fall right into our opinions on this or the thoughts about this or whatever. So, but yeah. Anyway, all right. I've digressed enough about it. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it.
It's all good. All good things must come to an end, and we must close out the show now at this point. To help us out, you can like or subscribe to any of our videos. You can go to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZombiePandaStudios. You can go to our YouTube channel, which is Zombie Panda Studios. If you're feeling extra generous, you can give to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/ZombiePandaStudios. There's plenty of things that me and Kimbrell are doing, whether it's coaching or doing things with Old School Cool and doing new videos and other different content like that. There's a lot of things that we have planned, so just check us out there, and hopefully you'll find something that you like. Giving as small or as big as you want really helps us out, so we really appreciate it for all those who do. If you want to, you can follow me at my Twitter at FlubbDota. You can follow Kimbrell at his Twitter at ZPSKimbrell. You can follow the show at ZPanda Studios. And if you want, you can listen to our podcast instead of listening to a VOD. You can watch us on Stitcher, iTunes, or SoundCloud, or our RSS feed. Kimbrell's doing all this great stuff, so we have all those different outlets that you can listen to us now, and I highly suggest following us on all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pop in real quick. SoundCloud, kind of having a difficulty on just some errors on, I don't know if it's their end or our end. But Stitcher and iTunes are for sure thing, and then obviously the RSS feed. Also, I think I might have talked about this on last week or touched on it, but somebody did ask me what happened to like the episode 20 to 40 or something like that. Those were lost. Literally, they're gone. They are lost. At least 20 through 30 something lost. So if you ever go to our iTunes and you notice there's a Brewmaster's Draft episode 20 something till episode 40. It's either that they're lost or the episode, I think 37 through 40. Flubb and I were just dealing. I was trying to graduate. Flubb had his own thing going on. We both had things going on. It was just kind of so yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. And then also most of the podcasts, if we're ending around 6 like we are right now, then they'll probably be up next day. I would like to start getting them up earlier.
Sorry, dude, you cut out there. You said if they're ending at 6 like right now.
Yeah, if they're ending at 6 like right now, they typically will probably be uploaded onto iTunes and all that stuff later in that evening, or possibly the next Saturday morning. I would like to start doing them earlier, but it's kind of hard. My wife gets off right at 6, and we have things to do once she gets off. So finding that time to edit and upload all at once after we get done with the show is kind of hard. So just bear with me on those. So that, like I said, it'll be either that evening or the next day when the iTunes and Stitcher and all that stuff will be up there. So.
All right, sounds good, man. We want to give a special thanks, like we were talking about before, to our Patreons. Patreons that gave this month are Tim Kaninsky, Ryan Ebel, Justin McGuire, Andrew Jacobowski, Brandon Henderson, Sonny, Dylan, and Jennifer Poquette. We want to thank you all for giving of this month and helping us keep this alive. We really appreciate it, and we are super happy that you guys were able to share beer with us this week. I thought this was a great week, and I'm glad that you guys all stopped by. All right, well, I will catch you later, and hopefully we'll see you next time at 5:30 Eastern next week for a brand new Brewmaster's Draft. All right, we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.